5/15/2026, but only after regulators had already caught it working for the Office of the Registrar of Companies. The Cybersecurity Authority has submitting an application changes nothing until a license is actually granted for operating without one. Purple Line was fined with 120,000 Ghana cedis to pay. So that is also an information coming in from the Cybersecurity Authority on the unlicensed regulator that have been fined in accordance with the law.
Kwame, there's one interesting piece here I would want us to go through. Indiscipline threatens Ghana's cultural values, and there's a piece from William Sapon Jan, managing editor, or the managing editor, Environmental Guide. He's the one that put out this piece. I think that is quite profound, and we need to let the listeners know. It says Ghana appears to be facing a worrying decline in the culture of respect and discipline that's once defined our society. Values that were deeply rooted in our communities are gradually being weakened, particularly among some young people who now use social media to insult, ridicule, and denigrate people who deserve respect. The recent effort by Ghana Police under the leadership of the Inspector General of Police to deal with indiscipline and irresponsible conduct deserve commendation. However, the responsibility of restoring discipline cannot be left to the police alone. It requires the collective efforts of traditional authorities, religious leaders, parents, politicians, educators, civil society organizations, and the wider Ghanaian public. Kwame goes on and on to say that today, social media has created a platform where some young people feel emboldened to insult traditional rulers, religious leaders, politicians, public officials, and even people old enough to be their parents. This disagreement has increasingly become mixed with personal attacks, abusive language, and outright disrespect. This should concern every Ghanaian. Goes on to say that freedom of speech is a fundamental right, but the freedom of expression should not be interpreted as a license to insult, threaten, incite violence, or deliberately humiliate others. A democratic society must protect the right to disagree while equally encouraging responsibility, decency, and respect. Our traditional authorities have an important role to play in addressing this challenge. Chiefs and traditional councils should also intensify public education on the importance of respecting elders and the cultural values that have held our communities together for generations. Religious leaders must also take up the responsibility. Churches and mosques provide an excellent platform for reaching millions of young people. Sermons and religious teachings should regularly remind the youth about respect, humility, responsible speech, and peaceful coexistence. Kwame, beautiful piece. I like it so much because it's a cocktail of so many things that has been put together. Final part of this piece is that he writes that this is therefore a call on all traditional leaders, religious authorities, politicians, parents, teachers, security agencies, and young people. Let us work together to restore discipline, respect, and responsible citizenship in Ghana. We can disagree without insulting. We can criticize without destroying someone's dignity. We can exercise our freedom of expression whilst respecting the values we have held our society together. That have held the society together. Ghana belongs to all of us. It is our collective responsibility to restore the values that made the society strong and create a better future for our young generation. Kwame, peace we now per day. I think that people should get the Daily Democrat, page 9. Beautiful piece. Sense. Yeah. Yes, Kwame. That is why I wage war against every person that has one way or the other insulted any person in this country not to enter parliament. Anybody, whether you are a media person, you are whatever. Those who have found themselves already in parliament, yes, that time, maybe I didn't have mic. Now that I have this mic before me, if you're a media person,
are you trying to eliminate some people even before they
Kwame, these people do not have any space.
They have pick forms.
Because you see what is happening now. That what's the name? This lady who's been sentenced 1 year the woman of four kids, or what's the name?
She has a Muslim.
Yes. And all others. The one who said, "I'll fight for my party. I'll fight for my party." All those people who have been using strong words on social media, who have been arrested and what have you. The one that went insulting Dr. Bawumia and co. You know, they are all standing trial. It came as
there was a statement from Bawumia, if I stand to be corrected, that they didn't ask the police to arrest.
That was the politics they want to do. Very unnecessary.
Yeah.
Very unnecessary.
Are you saying that, for example, if thieves burgle your house and you don't want everything to be investigated, so the police will sleep? I mean,
it is not about you, because
it's not about you. It's about
in fact,
the actions of
the case is the Republic against that person. It is not Bawumia versus
that was
that
unnecessary
person.
politics, but
yes, it was Ntianukra. That's why we didn't even give prominence to it. Kwame, it is because people that have the microphone have access to masses of people using social media for all sorts of things, decided to use their platforms to perpetrate some of these things, and that is why these things are festered. How is it that you switch on your TV or radio, then from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. you see Kwabrani TV so agenda way. Mini agenda bia.
no, land for me and let me celebrate some people.
Mini agenda. Oh, so you want to support this? Please put the picture on. I sent you something. Please check for me. Very, very important. Let me land. No, please. It's not Goma West matter. No. Why are you bringing Goma West into this matter? It's not a Goma West matter. I am saying that, and I'm sure your listeners and your viewers would appreciate this thing. In fact, this is the work of God. In fact, this morning I'm preaching, my brother. Some of these people should not get space.
You mean even journalists who insult people?
Yes. Why? Okay. If you're a journalist and you cannot use your platform to educate properly, and yours is to use your platform to abuse everybody, insult everybody, hey, no. And you want to become a member of parliament? No way, my brother.
There are many there.
Yes, I'm saying that those who found themselves there, they are but right now, it will not work, Kwame. We should not encourage some of these things, because it is these things that embolden a lot of the people. Media temoa. And me, I don't subscribe to any of them. Those individuals who sit in Abroche and all those things and all the things that they do, it is their own matter. I'm saying that the moment you decide that you want to come and take leadership in this country, we have to put your feet to the fire. Okay, you can't eat your cake and have it.
That's fair.
Yes. Kwame,
knowing how we politicize
people change what?
In this country, I wonder whether
Kwame, you know, I was telling you now to the throwback. You know, I was telling you that I was a soccer player. Today I brought evidence.
Okay.
I brought evidence. MFA should be ready for me. I want your listeners. When I said you said you mean Bob Daniel, you then KOG. Also a Bob that bring evidence. Me and today I brought evidence.
When Man United almost signed you.
Oh, not Man United. I played first division, second division. I was almost getting to Premier. When my father said no, my brother. Yes. Yes. And my father said no, my brother. You are too. No. I don't want you to play football. Papa, mama, boy, and Kenyani. MF, are you ready?
In those days, it was almost impossible. Hey, Charlie, your parents want you to be doctors and
teachers. So the Facebook, your listeners,
okay, so
let's come on Facebook and watch
me.
Go
to Facebook now.
Yes,
and go and
but
see,
since you are here, let me show you something.
A disappointed Ronaldinho over there.
Yeah.
They should go to Facebook.
So you see, so those of you watching us on Facebook, if you've not yet subscribed, please subscribe, because you will see me.
Yeah.
Kwame.
Yeah, in those days.
So yes, MFA has put on Facebook.
You could have played for U17 or something.
Kwame, check Facebook. Check. You see it.
I'm checking on my phone.
Check. My brother, go on Facebook and check.
I'm checking on my phone.
I mean, it's more evidence. More evidence. Because after today the matter is settled. I don't want anybody to come and say that on board. Have you seen it?
Look, I have a message for you.
What is the message?
This message is coming from prosper. This one is direct.
Also then.
Kwame, I support Doc 100%.
Correct.
But the Goma West agenda smells so much from him, la.
Ah.
The evidence is clear. This evidence based.
Oh, my brother. What is...
Doc, can you help me with the Goma West?
I don't know about Goma West. Me, I've just said my overseer.
The issue is simple.
Kwame, this is the picture.
And the picture.
Please, those of you watching
As
us
for the
on
picture,
Facebook,
I can see it's like.
you see, make sure you identify me in there, my brother. Look, take a look.
But this.
Joji, help me with the Goma West.
Do you see me there? Do you see me?
I don't see you.
You will not see me.
Joji, let me see the photo. Let me see the
I
photo.
can't see Doc in this.
Yeah.
I'm the one standing.
But all of them are standing.
Yes. So I'm the one from where you are watching.
Lizzie,
Number
this one-
three.
This is
I'm not even
the
seeing
evidence
that.
is there. But Joji,
Because
help me
this
with
picture
Goma West.
is
What
very,
exactly
it's
is
very old. You
happening
know I
with
got
Goma
the
West?
picture.
Yeah?
Yes.
The issue in Goma West is simple.
What is happening
issue
with my
there?
wife?
That the current member of parliament is the deputy
Energy minister. No?
What's his name?
You don't know the deputy minister's name of energy. You don't know his name.
Is he performing?
What's the guy's name? Is it Richard?
Yes, Richard
Yeah.
Jan Mensah.
Richard Jan Mensah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I've met him a couple of times. Richard Jan Mensah is,
Yes.
is the MP
Is he
for-
performing?
Whether
Oh, they
or not
are
he's performing,
performing?
I'm not in the constituency.
Okay.
I can't tell.
Okay.
You better
And
not.
then Captain Smart wants to unseat him.
Really?
Oh, by the why
he has been
why-
campaigning.
Me, I don't know about it.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know.
you know.
Ah!
You know.
What do you mean by
Yeah.
I know?
Now I get a
campaigning.
drift.
Let me
Now,
What do
now
you
I
mean by
get
I
a
know?
drift.
No, what do you
Break
mean
it
by I
down, break
know?
it down. Now I get a drift.
Doctor
Doc is trying to
Desmond-
eliminate Captain Smart from that race.
No.
I'm coming.
Doctor, what is it?
Dr. Desmond Kofi
Yeah.
Annan,
What
He's
is it?
trying to eliminate
a
Captain
proud
Smart.
member of
Doc is,
Osaka Valley.
he's trying to eliminate Captain Smart from the race.
For the first time,
I am a native of Goma West.
for the first time he has done a documentary in Goma West constituency that somebody has gone to cast out for construction of a DVN of it. Don't tell anything.
Me make I say no.
No, you do not know.
Me.
You've not seen the. You've not seen the.
I've not seen the documentary.
Maybe he's edited.
What?
After editing, you play. Doc is solidly behind his member of parliament. That's the Jan Mensah.
Okay.
That's a fact. And so
What do you mean by I'm selling it?
But there's no.
When
nothing
have
wrong
you
with
seen
that.
Doc review an article
Uh-huh.
in newspaper before? For some
Ah,
interesting
why?
reason,
No. From 6:30 to 7:30. What do we sit here to do?
Yes,
No.
yes.
What do we sit here to do? No. This is mischievous. No, I will not. No.
The truth is
This
that
one will not.
you and I are working.
Yeah.
But some people
But
are
he
enjoying.
resigned. That was it yesterday or 2 days?
Somewhere last week
Who?
or so.
Captain Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
That's what I
last
heard.
week or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he wants to be MP for that area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doc and his boss
Who is
are
my?
threatened
What? Well, look at that.
by the
Look at
by
that.
the speed of work.
Why?
Why? Captain
But
Smart is an
DVLS
NDC
office,
person?
Is it?
Captain
Somebody?
Me, I
Smart
don't
is
even know
going
what
on
he's
the
talking
ticket of
about.
NDC.
Is he an NDC person?
Yes. Oh, but you know that he has declared that he wants to contest on the ticket of the NDC.
And I'm saying that is he an
I
NDC?
thought
Before
he
you
was going
contest
as
on
an
the ticket of a
independent.
political party, you should be a registered member
Is it that he's-
and a card-bearing
he's
member of the
coming out-
party.
he's coming out of
No.
the-
Why?
He came to
Why?
clarify that he's a card.
So be it.
he-
So he can contest. Well, there's nothing wrong with
So
that.
why did you go to Goma Central and Goma West?
But
Why?
he's a
Now I'm a
journalist.
native of the place. I can't go to my hometown.
Okay.
Hey, I cannot go to my own Goma West.
Let me
He
do
wants
some
to-
birthdays.
Don't
But he's a
documentary.
journalist.
Let me do
so
some
there's
birthdays and
nothing
wrap up
wrong
now.
Eh?
with his.
Okay. So when I finish editing it,
Which one?
are you done editing the video?
No, I'm not done. So what? Don't worry. Don't worry.
That's what I do.
So media.
On that note,
Yes.
on that note, we
yes,
wish
on that note.
Honorable Jan.
No, it's not even about it. We've not gotten there, my brother.
Oh.
It is. Has anybody told you that he wants to contest MP?
Let me
Nobody has
a
said
message
anything.
for you. So OS sends a message saying, Kwame, please tell Doc that we can't see him. We want a forensic examination.
Why? Who is saying that?
The evidence is not accurate.
Who is saying? Oh,
The evidence,
oh
the
yeah,
evidence
no.
is not.
Oh yeah, this is.
I looked at
no,
the picture.
you're
I
very
can't
unfair.
identify
This is very
Doc.
unfair.
I looked at the picture. I can't identify Doc. Like.
Oh, no,
Hey,
but
I'm
with the
surprised.
size of his head, you should be able
There's a
to.
difference.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lizzie.
You have intentionally blurred the video so that it will be difficult for us to
No.
find him.
I was able to identify him because of the size of his head.
Hey.
Yeah.
Okay. On that note, we draw the curtains on the newspaper segment of the show.
Wait. So what's the name of the team?
Eh?
What's the name of the team?
Kokojo FC.
Number 0500,202 0500,202 person because it's birthday time. If you know someone who is celebrating his or her birthday today, let us know on WhatsApp number 0500,202. Who were born on this very special day, the 13th of August, at some point. My brother Bill Duncan, happy 365 to you. May the blessings of the Lord be your portion. Alex Apieje, you're also celebrating another 365. Happy birthday to you. Obaya Amwa, you're celebrating your birthday today. Happy birthday to you on this very, very special day. I pray the blessings of the Lord be your portion on this wonderful day. To you, Eric Kobna Wood, you're also celebrating your birthday today. I say happy birthday to you as well. May the blessings of the Lord be your portion every single day. And if you're also celebrating your birthday, or if you know someone who is celebrating his or her birthday, you can let us know, and then we can start the celebrations here. Let's do this together. Of course, on Class 91.3 FM. If today happens to be your birthday, I would love us to do this together. Amwakwa Entry, that's your name, Amwakwa Entry. Today's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Reginald Bossman, you're also celebrating your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Kodja Sidu, you're also celebrating your birthday today. Happy birthday to all of you. .3
Big time.
Class
This is Class 91.3 FM, and this is A Piece of My Mind, which is a segment of the show where I share my thoughts on a subject or more, and also give you an opportunity for you to do same. Remember, you can reach us via multiple ways. Our phone lines are working this morning, yes. Finally, we've been able to sort that out. Our phone lines are working this morning. So after sharing my thoughts on an issue, I also give you an opportunity for you to share your thoughts as well. You can do this. The number again is 0302 208080, 0302 208080. Give us a call and share those thoughts with us. If you would want to reach us, again, if you want to reach us via socials, our WhatsApp number remains same for this segment, 0500,000 202, 0500,000 202, or find us on our socials. We're streaming live on Facebook. The contact again is Class 913. Look out for us on Facebook, and let's take the conversations from there. This morning, I want to start my piece of my mind from this premise.
These are documents from the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. All these. And if you see the rot in this, you will be amazed. All these are scholarship documents that I received from the Ghana Scholarship. Look, I cringed reading these documents. I cringed. The rot that happened under the former registrar. This particular one is one woman gets, I don't want to mention, I'll say princess. Name princess. She gets a scholarship. She goes with her children, 3 of them. Ajovi, Akosia, Asiye. No, they are paid to come and stay with the mother to study. And the spouse, the husband. That is how Kwame Dwomoh-agyemang did it. I have no idea. And so this one, for instance, she has 3 children. She gets awarded a master's degree program. She gets paid for the master's program with stipends. Her husband gets paid to come and support the wife to study. Together with their 3 children. Together, that's a baby. Is a baby also a scholarship student? That is the awardee's children. That's the husband. That's another child. And I'll tell you, they pay their airfare. So for the 4, their visas, yellow fever card, ticket comes to about £90,000. And every month, the 3 children, the husband, everybody, each, not all of them, each gets £8,160 for supporting the mother to study. Do you think that is fair to the taxpayer of Ghana? And that is why NIB must move fast and make arrests and make people pay for this. People must refund. If you get a scholarship and you think that you are a wife and you are not ready to move away from your husband or your children, then stay in Ghana and study. Why should my taxes be paid to take care of you to come and read MBA in London? Come and read MBA. When you are coming, you bring your whole flock, including husband in tow. And the question I asked is, were the husbands not working, that they could move house and move to the UK to come and support their wives to study? No money share. And the husbands who also got it and came with their wives, the wives, what were they doing? So the children are moved out of school. 1 year, mother is coming to study. The whole family relocates. And this is why the Scholarship Secretariat could not pay these debts. It was being paid for airfare for whole family. Some of them had 4 children, some of them had 5 children, some of them had 3 children, plus spouse. So they were paying the tickets for them. They were paying them a monthly allowance for staying in the UK, all of them, the whole family, because one person is coming to study MBA. So Ghanaians, judge for yourself. Now I have to deal with this mess, and I have to be frank. I don't like coming to the media to discuss these issues, because I feel that we should do it behind the scenes. But the people that I'm dealing with, they go to the media first, trying to create the impression that we are not cooperating. So I have to let the Ghanaian people know that whatever you are reading from the people who run to the media first, that is not the truth. This is the situation at hand we are dealing with. And it doesn't take a day to solve this. This thing is under investigation. So we will take our time to do it. But for now, any payment that is made, knowing what I know about PhD students who have completed, and are asking me for 40 months stipends with no intentions of going back, we will ensure that the law is enforced.
So, just in case you're not familiar with this voice, this is a High Commissioner in London representing Ghana, Madame Zita Saba, there, doing an interview with a colleague journal on some of these issues concerning the Scholarship Secretariat. And this is just one of several things that we have been picking up in the last couple of months on the back of the works of the former boss of the organization, Kingsley Agyemang, who is now the Member of Parliament for Ebuakwa South constituency in Parliament. I've been hearing a lot about the Scholarship Secretariat in recent times and how they've gone about their work, and how scholarships have been just doled out and given out at the expense of you and me, who work very hard and contribute for the growth of this country in the form of taxes. And sadly, this is how our taxes are wasted on a lot of nonsense. Sadly. I have said my story on this platform
Class
that
91.3 FM.
if scholarships did not exist, maybe I would not be here. Not because I have benefited from a scholarship, but my dad did. My dad was not from the richest of homes, but studied hard. So after primary school, or in those days, whatever they called it, scholarship, Cocoa Scholarship, of course, took him to secondary school in my beloved Asante Mampong, from Form 1 to Form 5. My dad went to Ameni Ampong Secondary School. Then scholarship to go to Pukuare for 6th form. Then scholarship to go to the University of Ghana. Then scholarship to continue in Abuja, before he ended up in all the places he worked before he passed on. So my dad understood the value of education. So from a very early age, some of the things that I share and do on this platform, if I tell you when I read about them or when I knew about them, you'll be surprised, because this is what my dad did. We will read what he read. He would tell us stories about all of these things, and he would make us appreciate the value of hard work and what education could do for you. So that if you have the opportunity, because someone was paying for your fees, you needed to take advantage of it. One of the reasons why the Scholarship Secretariat was created all of those years ago, and it existed as far as Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's time, for Ghanaians to be trained to manage specific things that were being run by the imperialist or the colonialist, because we didn't have the skill set and we didn't have the experience. So for those of you who schooled in any of the any of the public universities, and you took your time to go through the university handbook, when I went through Legon, it was one of the first things I noticed. I noticed that a lot of our professors at the time at the University of Ghana had the opportunity of schooling in Abuja. A lot of them, sometimes even from first degree level, they were schooling everywhere in the East, in Eastern Europe especially, Hungary and all of those places, all the way to China, some in Europe, some in Northern America. And it was all because we needed that skill set for people to be able to benefit from that. So government was paying, and a lot of these people found their way back to contribute to their quota, whether it was in the area of education, health, economics. I know the story of one, Professor Alabi, who is current chairman of the Bank of Ghana Commercial Bank, schooling in the old USSR, studying economics there. And these days, he's contributed his quota in all kinds of ways. And there are a long list of people that I can mention. At least my professors at the University of Ghana, plenty in multiple departments. They came back. Those were the days where scholarships were awarded on merit, not because you knew a minister or you knew a member of parliament or you knew anyone. If you performed and you were good enough, in the case of my dad, who did not know anybody, because he was good enough, he had the opportunity to benefit. He said he wrote exam after exam after exam just to qualify. And all of them he passed. My dad would always tell me that the only person who could beat him in school was Professor Kwame Dwomoh-agyemang when they were in Opokuwari together. Because he would always boast to us that as long as he could remember, only with defense, he doesn't remember second until he met Professor Kwame Dwomoh-agyemang. But that's a story for another day. The point I want to make is that those were the days where scholarships were awarded on merits. And you didn't have to know anyone. But what have we been seeing in recent years as far as scholarships in this country is concerned? It is shameful, it is sad, it is an eyesore. Today, that cocoa farmer's son can never get a scholarship. If they are lucky, then they get some. If they are lucky. The scholarships are rather going to people who have not even held a cutlass before. by virtue of the fact that they are very powerful and influential people. They are members of parliament, they are state CEOs, or they are big people somewhere. So all that they have to do is to pick up a phone and call somebody somewhere, and it is done. People who can rather afford, who are stealing millions of our money, they are the ones who benefit from the scholarship secretariats. That is the nonsense that have been happening in this country for some time. Those who can afford. Have we forgotten the list that leaked a couple of years ago? Do you remember the people you saw on that list? Members of parliament. People who can afford. CEOs. I saw the daughter of the former chairman of the NPP, Freddie Blay. And I'm sure we all recall the explanation he gave that his daughter is also a Ghanaian. So if the daughter benefits from it, what was the crime in it? Yes, the daughter is also a Ghanaian. But for someone who could afford to provide buses for every single constituency as party chairman, the buses we never saw though, but that's a conversation for another day. These are the people whose children were benefiting from the scholarship. And you and me, Ijate's children, we don't even know where the offices of the scholarship secretariat is. If you're lucky and you even know there, by the time you enter the building, they look at you from your head to your feet. You don't know anybody. So who sent you there? You go through exam after exam, you meet people after people, it won't happen. Now we are hearing of these startling revelations. And you're asking yourself, did we go or did we come? I have met a lot of people in the last 10 years who have tried and tried and tried and tried, have given it absolutely everything from very poor homes just to get an opportunity. But they don't. All because they don't know someone, or they didn't have someone who was leading them to go and get support. On Sunday, I was in church. And there's an elderly woman in my church, I won't mention her name. She told me a very interesting life story of herself and her late husband, who was on the stretch of my hometown, and told me how the husband benefited from a scholarship in the 60s to go and study in Czechoslovakia in those days, and how she was a student schooling at St. Louis, and how the thing happened out of nowhere because the husband was so good academically. In the 60s, they didn't know anybody, but the husband was so good, he had an opportunity. Is that what we are doing today? We are just floating it around. And the sad thing that we're even hearing is that sometimes you have to pay. People are taking percentage in processing scholarship forms for people in this country. 10%, 20%, 30%. So if it is £20,000, £30,000, £40,000, and it's even 10%, you are paying somebody £4,000, £5,000 just to help them process your documents. Because if you want it for free, you won't get. That has gone to some minister, or that has gone to some big man's daughter or son, or the big man himself. And now our representative in London is telling us all of this. This is the nonsense that we experienced in the last 10 years. If what she's saying is anything to go by, I get a scholarship. I know there's an element of spousal support with some scholarship opportunities in other parts of the world. But is this something that a country like Ghana can afford? Pay for husband, pay for wife, pay for children, and pay their air tickets, pay stipends, and paying them up to £8,000 every month. I don't know, you're a footballer. And I've heard a lot more. But I would want Mr. Asafoyeji to speak for himself, because it was a private conversation I had with him, and he was telling me a few things. I told him, sir, we need you on air to come and speak about these things. But he keeps telling me that a lot of these things are under investigation, so he wouldn't want to jump the gun. Because when he inherited the offices of the Scholarship Secretariat, some of the things that he saw, it is, I mean, for want of a better word, it is only a madman who would commit to some of the things that he saw there. But it happened.
Class 91.3 FM.
Why do people take advantage of anything states like that in a part of the world? When people get an opportunity to serve, and that nonsense I don't even want to hear this, they are not serving anybody, they are there for themselves. So nobody should come and tell us they are there to serve, they are not there to serve anybody. But even if you are going to work, you are going to be paid. Why do you take that opportunity and drain all of us like that? And then Auntie Dede's son, Yamonko's son, Yamonko is a fishmonger, or tills the land, works very hard, pays their taxes, and the bourgeoisie rather benefits, and the proletariats suffer. Why? In this country, I meet young people who tell me Uncle, I've been out of school. I get messages every day. I've been out of school 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I've been looking for a job. I've been looking for scholarship. I've been looking for this opportunity. I've been looking for minimobia. So I just keep hitting a wall and coming back. Keep hitting a wall and coming back. Yes, if you know a big man, it would happen in minutes for you sometimes. I know of a place in this small Accra where a gentleman has been chasing a job in that particular institution with better qualifications for almost 5 years. He didn't get it. The next thing he heard, somebody he knew whose qualifications are not even close to his has been taken for that same position. Because it turned out that the person was somebody he knew. And the worst part was that the person was somebody he thought. And the person just called. They were just having a conversation and said, Charlie, I get a job for this area and this be the position. This is what we experience and we continue to experience in this country. Taxpayers' money used for a lot of incredible things. Things that would blow your mind. And sadly, people are barely held accountable for their actions in our part of the world. Sadly, people are barely held accountable. They loot, they steal, and they get away with it. You think that the Honorable Kingsley Agyemang and his team, if what we are hearing is anything to go by, they didn't know what they were doing. But maybe they thought, oh, this is Ghana, nothing would happen. I can do what I want. So they did whatever they did. I've heard a lot about that department, but I'll leave that to the state agencies. And this is just an example, at least. This one is an official confirmation coming from our representative in London. And she continues to say, this is just a few. So there are more. So to our state agencies, we didn't put you guys there just for the fun of it. We want to see you work. People who have looted state coffers, who have wasted our money, wanton dissipation of state funds, go for them. You have the support of everyone. We can't keep tightening our belts and we have a few greedy people enjoying at our expense. We can't. We just can't. We have suffered for too long and we keep suffering. And the masses are many. And the political elite are enjoying. All you need is a position. Why do you see all of these people queuing up and paying thousands of CDs or millions of CDs to people just to be elected or find their political parties in office? Because when they come, they control the pot and they do whatever they like, including the nonsense that we experience at the Scholarship Secretariat. So if you're trying very hard and you are not getting an opportunity, now you know what was happening there. Now you just know what was happening there.
Class 1.3 FM.
Well, let me activate my phone lines. 0302208080, 0302208080. Some of you have already sent me voice notes. Today our phone lines are working, so you can give me a call on 0302208080, or you can send me a message on WhatsApp on 0500,202 0500,202. If you call me, I would appreciate that. Our phone lines are working today. 0302208080, 0302208080, or give me a call. Or send me a message on WhatsApp number 0500,202 0500,202, or find us on our Facebook platform. We're streaming live there. If you drop in a message, I will take it up, or you can give us a like, give us a comment, give us a watch as well. Okay, as I wait your calls, let me take some of your messages that have come in. This one says, Kwame, good morning. Okay, so let me take the calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Seth, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Kwame, you see, it is a system. It is a system. Because I was surprised that National Scholarship Secretariat will be giving there this and that. And the Minister of Finance, every time you will see that they have released a budget in this thing there, they approve it in Parliament. And they have an agency that reported this in, and then we have a valuation department and there. And we have audit department, internal and external. But look at this is happening. Sometimes if you go there, they say because of the popular way they call recipe, frustrating people how to go about the government institution because somebody wants to get something. These are the things are causing us very dangerous one. Mr. Kwame, I will not say much on this aspect. When you go to this secretariat, National Scholarship Secretariat, before you can enter, you see those people, they are already lined up. And those people are their conniving agency. And government should remove them. If they haven't removed them, this thing will continue. Nothing we can do. I'll leave it for the others to also contribute.
I appreciate you calling, Seth. 0302208080. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from? Yeniti Mami.
And I pay na issues na wabu bot na libre. Na mamen kanche Dr. Anan say na mo kan trotro or say ACP say aya say obi ewe ya report na police. Me ankasa ma report di ama police me testimony. Me report na police ni nka jam sa me nko national security. E ma me bi say obi bomb krono na wugina ha na as a state enforcement officer me bo amena okay tell me nko national security minti na me na nko national security and I mean the same time na ogi amena nko national security.
Okay, Anan Mate, thank you. 0302208080. Give me a call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Bro Kwame.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Osman.
Osman, go ahead.
Hey, Bro Kwame, Ghana is not broke. Hey, so you getting common this thing, and then you get paid. Your spouses will get paid. Then your children get paid. Wow. Some people enjoy, go punish all of them for us.
Thank you, Osman. We're calling 0302208080. Give me a call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Kwame. I'm also Kwame, calling from Accra, Newtown.
Kwame, go ahead.
Yeah, this scholarship issue is an issue. For instance, the previous administration, if you go to many of the energy companies like Bui Power Authority, I know individuals there. Everybody know the salaries of Bui Power Authority VRA. Can you imagine the individuals within this organization were given scholarship, were classified as poor people, not even the resettled people at Rio. People who have employed fully and have been paid everything, better condition. And I know most of them. I think if they want to do, there should be a line where we can fish those individuals, or they have the document. They were getting those monies while they were doing the course in Ghana here, whilst they were being paid in pounds. Does it make sense to anybody? I am
very sad indeed. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
1.3 FM.
Hello.
Kwame.
Papa, go ahead.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning.
It's so sad, though. Very, very, very sad. 30 million pounds. And when we check, as stated, MPP, Nation Ricketts Party, MPP, there are problems. Like you stated, your dad had scholarship by merit. Those days, that you mentioned Kwame Dwomoh-agyemang, all of them by merit, by check.
Class 91.3
MPP. And when they finish their course, they leave there big, then they will come down and be defending MPP. And then later they will run away when they cause havoc in our economy, and they will run away to the US or to Britain. Never again should the Ghanaians vote for MPP to come and rule us.
Okay, Papa, I appreciate you calling 0302208080, 0302208080. Give me a call and share those very strong and passionate thoughts with us, or you can send us a message on WhatsApp on 0500,000 202, 0500,000 202. The call line again is 0302 208080, 0302 208080. We'll take a few more calls before wrapping up other segments of the show. Let me take some of your messages that are coming in as I await your calls. Okay, I've got a caller coming through. Hello, good morning. Oh, I lost this caller, but you can try again. 0302 208080 0302 208080. This one says, Kwame, the most painful aspect is that these big men don't even pay tax, water bill, and lights, but we give them all of these opportunities. Why? One day, just one day. Escobar, you send this one. Escobar, I appreciate you sending this message. Kofi Nakra says, indeed, the story of the scholarship issue is very mind-boggling, but I am not totally surprised. This is Ghana. But for how long can this continue? We have all our values as a country. The Kufuor government and the NPP has really done a lot of harm to this country. And it's like the NDC is also too slow in dealing with these issues. We need to wake up as a country. The authorities must name and shame, prosecute and recover all our monies. NPP has really destroyed this country. Kofi, I appreciate you texting. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Kwame.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Sammy calling from Tema.
Sam, go ahead.
Kwame, what you are saying there is very. I even feel sad for the poor at this moment. So it means that if you are poor in this country,
Class 91.3
FM. You know go be give
you know go be you, Sam.
Basically, you can't do anything. These meager jobs, here and there, to maybe God calls you. That's so sad of a fate for those people. And Kwame, why is it that our constitution, we can't say that any public parliamentarian, any leader, any MP, your children from basic education, elementary, your children must go to government school so that they can eat the food that the children are eating there, so that they'll be incentivized to fix that thing. How can we have people, you remove them from the system, and they can't even fix this school feeding program? Yesterday I went to a school, go and look at what they are eating, so that their children will eat some. You will see that many of them will not become an MP anymore because they won't let their children eat such food. So it should be part of the constitution recommendation that if you are an MP, it means that Saito school, your children too will go some. Then let's see if anybody will become an MP anymore. Thank you.
Thank you too. I appreciate you calling Sam. 0302208080 0302208080. Give me a call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Kwame.
Good morning, Eddie.
Please,
go ahead.
My name is Eddie. I'm right here in Community 19, please.
Eddie, go ahead.
Mr. Kwame, it has been very fatal this morning. This dawn, the road has not been safe at Mfonko barrier. Please, I think that I need to urge drivers. The early dawn traveling should be suspended. The visibility is very poor, and as a result, we have lost 10 lives. 10 lives are gone. Souls have been cannot be recovered. So I'm urging the road users, please, dawn driving should be suspended. If the night, the day break, and the sun shine, that's where you can travel safely. So I think that drivers need to be cautioned and urged so that safety will be assured in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thanks for calling 0302208080 0302208080. Call us and share those very strong and passionate thoughts with us, or send us a message on our WhatsApp platform 0500,202 0500,202. If you want to call to, it is 0302 208080 0302208080. Francis has sent us a voice note, so let me play what Francis has to say as far as our conversations are concerned this morning.
Kwame and KOJ, the team, good morning. It's very, very disheartening again to wake up this morning to hear this scholarship secretarial issue of money being doled out to husband and wife and
Class
children.
91.3 FM.
To go and stay in UK or wherever in the name of scholarship. I mean, what at all is this? What's happening? Why? What what is this? What is this? Public officer doing this to Mother Ghana. In fact, so all this happened under MPP. Under MPP. And in fact. So where is the man now? We need to look for this man and his
Class
family, wherever they are,
FM.
and bring him to book. We should look for him We should look for him and call his name out and that of his family.
Okay, thing is, he's here in this country. He's not a member of parliament, Kingsley Agyemang. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Eric, and I'm calling from Mahuish.
Go ahead, sir.
We have a leadership problem. Everything is like a human being. Your head is so very small, and then when it's fair to reason where the whole body misbehave. From this country, how things is going so very bad. I think the constitution is good that they are doing something about it. Because how come as a country we want to control or have a good transport, whereby as a government, at least we should have printed buses in the system so people can use to go to work on time. And at the same time, it will prevent the accidents that occurs yearly. And at the same time, for the rent and its control, if you have affordable housing and affordable housing in the system, it will help us to design the cities well with good drainage system. But all these things is not working because the party A will start, the party B will not continue, and the party B will start, the party A will not continue. At the end of the day, the monies don't belong to them. It belongs to we, the Ghanaians. And I think it's the time for we, the citizens, to decide. It's not about saying that you are an MPP or you're an NDC, but you say that you are a Ghanaian. So election time, then we vote wisely, and it will help us. So thank you.
Thank you too. Thanks for calling. Maybe we'll pick a final call or two. 0302208080 0302208080 so that I can get to read your messages that have come in. Okay, do we have a caller? Okay, so I've got a voice note. You don't tell me your name, but please, I would appreciate it. See, Saint Goshen. Okay, Saint Goshen, let me listen to you.
Good morning, Class FM. Kwame, good morning. The nan dog canning nano. Yes, the woman, sir. Now, Sugana, no. Senipa ya de yet. Now, one can't tell said the oyen in ya. Woman, ya, Jessica be Braman for D. Now, Jessica, a month for D at the end of the day, J. Job. It is a captive that
Class 91.3 FM.
Kenny penny more. What's your say or Yenipa? Debbie, and yet, sir, Captain Yenipa, no crown or walker. What officer why you can go to court.
Okay, Matsi. All right, let me take some of your messages that have coming before we start the conversation. We told you this morning that we're going to be having Professor Uto come into the studio. He's been graceful to spare some time with us the last couple of weeks, giving us loads of health education. And this morning we're going to be continuing on that tangent. Honestly, drivers started charging unapproved fares from passengers since last year. The actual fare from Kaswa to Accra is 10 Ghana cedi, but drivers overcharge, sometimes around 15, 20, and even 30 from us. This is bad, pa. The authorities should wake up and bring relief to passengers. Then you go ahead to say, Kwame, please, the authorities should find a lasting solution to the bad road along Kaswa STC, especially the Atala stretch. Commuters go through a lot. The road is still covered with running water. Juliet. Well, in this country, is there any problem our leaders have been able to solve? Good morning, Kwame. Been a while now. I don't have anything to tell our leaders, but I'm happy we are all going to die one day. Thank you, Francis Ndome. Well, enough said, I guess. Good morning, Kwame. Are you sure this is Ghana? Hey, just imagine if we had broken the 8s. Yesu. Big Fredo, you send us one. Kwame, please put me there. I can also do it. Okay, I don't get you by putting you there. Maybe you need to come again so that I can have clarity to your message. Kwame, today it's Scholarship Secretariat. There are many other institutions that are probably worse. Yoko and others must be up and doing. I am Nelly from Michelle Camp. Oh, Nelly, that one there, true talk. A lot of rots, especially with state-owned enterprises. Good morning, Kwame. I'm a youth of 24 years. Listening to this Scholarship Secretariat audio, I have given up. It's clear that we the poor, we would never make it here. Thank you for doing your job. I am done. I'm leaving the country. See you guys in another life. Charlie, it's sad, man. Abdul from Sun City says, good morning, Kwame. Places that need attention most in Tema West are Klagong, Kaniwu, Ajekojo, Sun City, Global, Portable Water, Roads, etc. As for Community 2, 3, 5, they are better off. Some of us worked so hard for lawyer James Enu to be the MP, but he has been a shadow of himself since. Youth unemployment is very high, constituency visitation is close to zero, the roads are terrible, portable water is non existent, bills are even higher than before. How can people be doing this to the poor taxpayer? Just listen to the High Commissioner to the UK. God won't forgive these people. Abdul, you send those one. It's sad, my brother. Kwame, please come to Medina and see how drivers are doing. Okay. My brother Alaji Falia will take care of them. He's doing some very good job there. Good morning, Kwame. So one person can get a whole family drain the taxpayers like this in the name of scholarship. I have been paying tax for 35 years in the teaching service and still counting. I'm a widow and always on loans just to support my children's education. Is this how my 35 years of tax are used for? God help us. Auntie Rosemond, you send this from Spintex. Auntie Rosemond, it's painful. Oh. The jokers we elect in office, this is what we get. It's very painful. Hi Kwame, good morning to you and KOG. In fact, what is this that we are hearing again under the NPP with scholarship? What I told our public officers once when they get into office. This morning you see all of them going to work and engage in all kinds of nefarious activities. Kwame, I think it is time we note thus. Okay, Francis, you send this one. Kwame, because people are not punished severely, all of these theft will linger on. When the frog in the front falls in the pit, those behind take caution. I'm Nelly from Michelle Camp. Gloria in Afinia says, good morning, Kwame. I picked the car from Mataiku to 37. I paid 19.50 pesos instead of 18. Keep up the good work. Okay, so they've added 1 CD 50 pesos to it. Gifty from Spentex, you say, good morning, Kwame. Radio really gets results. Okay, you sent this message some time ago. You say the road in front of the big man's house has been fixed. Yeah, we all know who that big man is. Hi, class. All of this corruption here and there, they will come back and be singing, we shall win to save Ghana. Which Ghana are they coming to save again? Wicked group of politicians. Osman, you send this one. Yeah, they always come out with good songs to get you to vote for them. Yeah, they'll get you to vote for them. This one says, I'm winning from Adenta. I'm wishing myself, God's last baby, a very beautiful and glorious happy birthday. Okay, baby last, we're here. Happy birthday to you. The Knowledge Prosecutor, oriented, inspired by President Mahama and his Attorney General, they are now withdrawing case after case after case. The latest one is Madam Sedinam Tamaklu. This issue remains Operation Free All NDC Criminals in Ghana under the Mahama administration. Okay. Keep your messages coming on WhatsApp number 0500,000 202. We're going to be starting a health conversation very, 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 very shortly. But let me just take this very quick musical break. And then when we return, we continue with the show here on
Class 91.3 FM.
Remember, you're still here on Class 91.3 FM. other issues of health. He's written a very brilliant piece which has been published on a number of online portals. I'm reading this one on modernghana.com about Ghana's ambitious drive towards universal health coverage and what he thinks of that together with other issues as well. Professor Uto has loads of experience working all over the world. He's just telling me that he's coming from Nairobi. Hey, Charlie, some people's working experiences are not just Charlie, they are fun as well. Charlie, every week they playing inside. You go take money. Charlie, it don't be easy like that too. Some people who have been working at Chocos, Charlie. Anyway, we'll discuss that another day. Prof, good morning.
Good morning.
How do you combine all of this? You make time to write all of these articles. I know you teach as well. I know you do a lot of consultancy, you work here and there. You offer lectures to people all over the world. How do you do all of this?
To begin with, let me say hello to your listeners, and I think it's just a passion. I mean, yeah, I'm very passionate about this thing that I do, and there's a saying that when there is a will, there will be a way to get it done, and yeah. So at this stage, I can afford to do it, but I know that I mean it's not going to be that forever. So at this point in time, when the energy and the passion and everything is there, you just get it done, get going.
Is it about training and experience? I know you went to tech. And then since then you found yourself all over the world. Is it an environment you find yourself in where you are encouraged to give your best, you're encouraged to do a lot more beyond the norm? Has that in any way shaped you to becoming who you are now?
I think we are all wired differently. I come from a big family, and I think the experiences and the kind of advice and stuff that my family has taught me. I mean, my parents and my uncles, my siblings, and everybody. I think those are the things that keep you going day in and day out. And also, I mean, you look at the world and you realize that, look, there's so much you can do. There's so much you can do. And there's a biblical saying that to him that more is given, more is expected. I believe that the Creator has been very good to me. And then I can't keep everything to myself. I've got to give back to community and society.
Well, that's a good one. So let's get into the latest piece that you put out. And Prof has been kind enough to visit us a few times the last few weeks. So I'm sure our listeners are pretty much familiar with him and what he brings to the table. There's been all of these ongoing conversations about community healthcare and what governments the world over are doing. One of the things that really got my attention when I read your piece was how we could get a lot more people paying attention to what we provide at the community level rather than everybody waking up and going to Kolebu or going to Ridge or going to 37. So we see a situation where you go to a place like Ridge, and because it's not too far from me and I have some friends who go there, I meet people who tell me that they are there at 6 o'clock in the morning. Meanwhile, the doctor will show up at 8. Because if they show up at 8, they will spend another 4 or 5 hours in the hospital. And some of these things, with the greatest of respect to these individuals, if there was, I don't know whether to call it a smaller hospital that can manage those things, rather than going all the way to a place like Ridge, it would have done them a world of good. They could have been there in 10 minutes, seen a doctor in 5 minutes after, and they are out of the hospital plus or minus 30 minutes. At what point have successful governments, I won't say failed, but not giving too much attention to something like this? That is why, till this day, you have all of these thousands of people show up at these referral hospitals, like people call them these days.
Yeah, you know what? That's one of the important pieces of my my publication. All right, look, there are so many people who should not end up at the referral hospitals, but they do. All right, so the places get congested. And I mean, look, if you are a single mom, all right, you have 4 kids to take care of, and you have to go sell your product, tomatoes and stuff, you don't have 2, 3, 4 hours to go sit at the hospital waiting to be attended to for minor problems. All right, so this is the point where I believe that if we have in that, because in that community that the woman or the single mother lives, she may have bypassed 3, 4 community pharmacies to get to the hospital. Now, if those community pharmacies are well equipped and you have all the experts in there, Most of the problems will be handled at that point, so there would no need for anybody to get a lot of people to end up in the hospitals. And if we do that, we are decongesting the hospitals, and every patient that is prevented from entering the hospital, you are saving the community money, you are saving time, quality of life, and so many other things. So this is where I'm strongly coming from. I believe that there's so much we can do, especially if you look at, let me look at it this way. If you look at the primary healthcare, all right, we are building chip compounds. We are expecting to go to polyclinics and stuff like that. Excellent, beautiful. I believe that the free primary healthcare is one of the best policies, the healthcare policies that Ghana has had as a country. All right, perfect. But in Ghana, as we stand today, you have about 5,000 community pharmacies. You have about 21 over-the-counter medication centers. We are now spending money to build chip compounds. But in all these communities, we have pharmacies there. So what prevents us from converting those pharmacies into health hubs? All right. So
but these are owned by private people. Majority of them.
Exactly, they are. But at the end of the day, if the government has a policy that we want to convert, we are not converting them. We are not taking them over. We are providing them with an avenue to provide services to the citizens. I can tell you that 99.99999% of community pharmacists are more than happy to do that, because that is the kind of training we get from university. That's the kind of training we get. So this community farmer, even though they are community, if the government says that, look, every citizen can come to you, all right? You check all the parameters that the chip compounds will do. We send primary healthcare nurses to people's homes. They go to the homes to go and take all those parameters. They check blood pressure, they check their temperatures, they check their body weight, they check A1C, they check all those things. All these things could be done in the community pharmacy. If the government says that you could go to the community pharmacy to go and do this, and if you have 5,000 plus community pharmacies, 21,000 over-the-counter medication centers, you should be able to use it. If you are able to use all those things, I don't think there will be the need for us to start spending money on chips compound. What you need to do is that you pay them for the services they provide. You pay them for the services they provide. Everybody will be more than happy to jump on board.
If I understand what you've said, so I walk into a pharmacy shop, or I still see some labeled as licensed chemical seller, whatever that means. But I still see these. I see quite a number of them who even started out like that, expanding to the level of a pharmacy. So let's say I go to a pharmacy shop. Let me use one that I'm familiar with in my neighborhood. This is not free advertisement to them, but there's a pharmacy shop in my neighborhood called Ampoma Pharmacy. When you go there, maybe 9 out of 10 times I have been there, there's a doctor there. So they are not just selling the medications, so that when you come in, I want this, and then they take it off the counter and the attendants attend to you, or I have this prescription. I went to the hospital and I was given this. You can actually walk. I never knew they had that there until one day I went with. So I was trying to explain, and then the attendant told me, "Please wait. Let me call doctor." And I was like, "Oh, you have a doctor here?" I was like, "Yes." So then I go to see the doctor, and it was just like being at the hospital. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Okay. So let's put it this way. I know that when you go to pharmacies this way, you want to see it. They say, "Oh, let's talk to a doctor or whatever." Most of those are the PharmD holders. They are pharmacists. They are not physicians. That is another confusion we need to clear straight away. We have physicians,
okay,
who are doctors, and we have PharmD holders who are also doctors of pharmacy. So this is an argument, an ongoing argument.
What's the difference?
There's a difference. I mean, you are there's a medical doctor, a physician who has gone to school to train as a physician. All right.
Okay.
They go to the medical school. They come out as physicians. All right. Diagnosis. That's what they're training. Now we also have pharmacists who have specialized. We call the PharmD holders. They're the doctorates of pharmacy.
Okay.
All right. They are doctors of pharmacy, but they are not physicians. So when they say, no, let me call you a doctor, they are not calling a physician, they are calling a pharmacist for you. That is something that I think that we need a little bit of clarification on. I mean, so that people, you got confused. You thought you were speaking to a physician. No, you are not speaking to a pharmacist. You are speaking to a pharmacist who has a doctorate in pharmacy.
But are they good enough to offer a certain kind of service?
Yeah.
Emphasis on a certain kind.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's the kind of they have training to do a lot more. They've been trained to do a lot more than I have a bachelor's degree in pharmacy from KNUST, and then the new crop of pharmacists coming out, the curriculum has changed. There's more clinical work there, so they are PharmD holders. All right, so they are doctors of pharmacy. So those are the things that we need to, a few things we need to clarify. Yes, they are experts. They are doing a very good job. So when you go to the pharmacy, you go to the hospital. I mean, there's an argument which way, and some of my colleagues know my position on this, and we keep talking about it and making fun of it. I believe that if you're a doctor of pharmacy, your name tag should indicate pharmacy there. You can indicate your doctor there, but it should indicate you're a pharmacist so that nobody gets deceived that you're a physician. You are a pharmacist, plain and simple.
But you go and see this person, and the person is, you may be naive, and you're having a conversation with the doctor, him or her, and you're, explaining a thing or two, and he's providing some education. Okay, this will best serve. This medication will do you good. That medication will do you good. That medication will do you good. In that kind of situation where you're limited knowledge, you are likely to say, if he is saying that or if she's saying that, then I might as well go with his or her advice. Or at that point.
Yeah, I mean that is it though. See, let's look at it this way. I also touched on the specialization for pharmacists. Now, when we are out of school, we are general practitioners. Just like a physician, you're a general practitioner.
Okay.
And you could from there specialize into something else. The same thing as a pharmacist. All right. I believe that. So if you look at another angle of my piece is that, look, we have patients who end up at the teaching hospitals. They go on dialysis once or twice a week, and we have people who have kidney problems, we have people who have cancer and all that kind of thing. All right, diabetic patients who end up with their kidney problems. Okay, now this is what I believe in. I believe that for dialysis costs between 700 to 2,000 per session. So if you have twice a week, you're looking at about 2,000 to 4,000 cedis per session. If that person lives for the next 10, 20 years, just put the math together. All right, you're talking about millions of cedis, a lot of money. And it's not just a lot of money, but you're talking about the impact on the healthcare system. All right, now about 45% of deaths in Ghana today are, the non-communicable diseases account for that. 45%, 43 to 45% of that. And if you look at that category of non-communicable diseases, you're looking at the cardiovascular problems, you're looking at hypertension, you're looking at diabetes, you're looking at respiratory issues. These are areas which are contributing massively to the non-communicable disease there. Now, my point is this. If we want to make a huge impact as a country, what we need to do is to make sure that we are training community pharmacists as experts in this field. Because let me give you a typical example. Look, the first point of call and the last point of call for most people in any country are the community pharmacies. They go to the community pharmacy first when they have a problem. Then probably there's a referral. They end up at the hospital. When they have their prescription, they go back to the community pharmacy to fill their prescription. So the first point of call and the last point of call in the healthcare system in most countries starts with the community pharmacy. Bottom line. Think about it carefully.
Okay, so I'm looking at it this way. So let's say I'm home, I have a headache. I'm not likely to go to the hospital straight away.
Definitely not.
So I would go to the nearest pharmacy shop or the licensed chemical seller. So you are saying that if there are staff there who are trained to attend to me, then they attend to me so that I won't take the next step of going to a referral center.
That is true. That is true. And that's where I'm coming from. Because if we do that, so let's say that I am a respiratory educator, right? So if you come to my pharmacy around 9 p.m., you're having an exacerbation, there's a problem. I should be able to provide you with the necessary treatment, the necessary management that you need, all right, at that point in time, which would not probably require you to end up in emergency.
Okay.
And by doing that, you are saving the country a lot of money. By doing that, you are decongesting the hospitals. No bed syndrome shouldn't be there. If we are able to look at the referral systems carefully, and also we train our healthcare cadres, the community pharmacists, to manage a lot of those problems. Those are minor problems. We should not end up there.
Is it a money issue?
I think it's more about policies and structures that we don't have in place to do that. It's not a matter of money. It's the structures that we have in place.
Because you put out the stats. You say we have about 5,000.
We have about 5,000 community pharmacies, about 21,000 over-the-counter medication centers. So this is where I'm coming from. So if let's say that we decide to train community pharmacists, we have asthma educators, we have diabetic educators, smoking cessation experts. All right. If we pump them out, we train them, which the Ghana College of Pharmacists is ready to do. They have all the resources and everything to train them, but they don't have the money. Now, the other angle is that if we have all these cadres of healthcare professionals who are pharmacists, well trained to do that. Now, if somebody goes into the pharmacy to pick up a prescription, all right, they are able to help them make sure that the medication they are taking for diabetes, all right, there are diabetic medications now which will protect your kidney. And we know one of the biggest challenges of diabetes is that long term you end up with kidney problems. You learn more dialysis. We know that. So the experts will know that when you take this medication together with us and we work on your lifestyle, we work on your diet, we work on your physical activity, we work on your body weight and everything, that as a diabetic patient who ultimately was going to end up on dialysis will be prevented. You prevent that. And if you can prevent one patient of yours from getting on dialysis, just imagine how much money you are saving the country. That's why I believe that we need to invest a lot of money into making our community pharmacists expert in unique areas. And if they become expert in those unique areas, they in turn will be helping the community, they'll be saving the government money. Community pharmacists are the cheapest source of healthcare professionals.
Prof, respectfully, with your expertise and where you've worked and your training and all of that, they pay a lot of attention to the figures. So, for example, the cost of a life, the cost of importation of drugs, the budget we allocate to, let's say, the Ministry of Health. These are big conversations in certain parts of the world. Since you've been going in and out of home, do you feel that this is a conversation that we take very seriously here?
I tell you what, I think that we're having those conversations, but we're having a conversation in silos. We should have the conversation in a bigger picture instead of just thinking about them in silos. All right, that is it. The conversations are going on, but they're not going on at the right stages. So we need to get all the stakeholders together. We need to have that conversation. Look, I did a simulation of some figures there. Now, if the National Health Insurance spends about 3 million cedis over 5 years to train community pharmacists in all some of those areas that I touched on, all right, in 5 years' time, they'll be saving themselves about 20-something million cedis. I just did some computation. If you spend 3 million in over 5 years to train your community pharmacists to do all those things I'm talking about to you, now in 5 years you invest 3 million, and then you should be saving about 27 million. So if you take your 3 million, you are making about 24 million profit. It's not just the money you are saving quality of life of your citizens. You are saving the system congestion at your hospitals. You can't quantify that. We are just looking at the figures, but the quality of life, the impact of that on the community is way more than the money we are looking at.
It's not too difficult to understand this analysis with the greatest of respect, my level of education. So, for example, I'll look at it in a situation where, let's say, government is spending 200 million to import medication into the country. With all the noise that we make about we not having enough money and going to IMF and all of these bodies to go and get loan. So that if we are having this program or we are undertaking this program and we can rather import at 100 million and invest 100 million into roads, water, that would make a lot of sense. But it's ultimately policy and who is leading the policy.
That is true.
Who have we put in these places respectfully over the years? I won't pick on anyone or any individual or anything. That's why I keep asking whether with your time in and out and with your engagements you've had with people, if they are having these conversations, it shouldn't be private. If they are having these conversations, it should reflect in decisions and policies that are made and everybody sees it. Ideally,
let me tell you something.
Tell me.
Let me give you a typical example. Now, if you see an asthma patient and you prescribe an inhaler for them, all right? So the physician sees the prayer and you write an inhaler for a child or an elderly person. Now, they go home, that child has to use an inhaler, a metered dose inhaler, like the salbutamol we see every day. Now, the use of that medication is such a way that you have to time the time that you actuate it and when you start breathing in. All right, so you have to press this thing and then start breathing in the medication concurrently so that you can get the drug into your lungs. We know that about 70% of our Ghanaian population cannot use this thing properly. And it's not only in Ghana, across the world, we know that's the problem with the metered dose inhalers. Most people cannot use them concurrently. Even when, you are teaching medical students and pharmacy students, that is a problem there to begin with. That coordination is not easy for most people. Now, so if you write that medication for the patient, what most countries are doing that they are attaching aero chambers or spacers with the metered dose inhalers. The spacer is that a device that you put your metered dose inhaler on, and then when you actuate it, you just breathe normally, and then you take in the medication.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you write a metered dose inhaler for a child without a spacer, how do you expect the parents to be able to administer that drug and get the results you want? You're not. You're going to lose about 70-80% of that medication trying to get the child coordinate that. Now, we have a system in place where those prescriptions don't come with the inhalers. So that's why I say it's a policy issue. The structures have to be looked at all over again. If I have a choice, I have to make a decision on this kind. I would say that every metered dose inhaler that is prescribed for a child, it has to come with a spacer. Because that's the only way you are going to get the benefit that you want the drug to give you. Because why do you prescribe a medication? You prescribe a medication to take care of a medical condition. So if they are prescribing the medication that the conditions at which it could be used are not appropriate, are not ideal, and the patient is going to get a full benefit from the drug, then what exactly are you trying to achieve? But the system is that I don't think national health insurance doesn't pay for spaces. It's not part of it. I mean, it's the system is such a way that it's coupled with some kind of thing. It has to be decoupled. So every time there is a metered dose inhaler prescribed, it has to go with an aero chamber. It has to go with a spacer.
Health issues and their conversations can be some way, but let's move on.
I have a charity that's the Asthma Ghana, and for the past 3, 4, 5 years, we import aero chambers in thousands and distribute them across the country to teaching hospitals, to polyclinics, to pharmacies and whatever. If you call today and you need one in any part of the country, we send it to you if you have stock. All right, because there's a gap there, and the gap is the reason why we are not getting asthma patients on a good treatment. Plain and simple.
Let me read this, and we'll take the conversation one after one from there. Community pharmacies, and this is by Dr. Uto, not from me. Community pharmacies are among the most accessible and high-frequency touchpoints in the national healthcare ecosystem. Operating long hours without formal appointments, they routinely absorb a large volume of undifferentiated patient complaints. Despite this footprint, community pharmacies remain on the margins of national health policy making, treated as a commercial retail outlet rather than an integrated clinical hub. This policy exclusion compromises patient safety, fuels drug resistance, and contributes to avoidable hospitalizations across Ghana. What do you mean by this?
I'll tell you something here. Now, when you go to a community pharmacy at 8 p.m. at the night, when a single mother's baby has fever, running a fever, they are sick, they don't go to the hospital, they go to the community pharmacy. Now, the driver who has a headache along the way will stop and go to the pharmacy to say, can I get something for my headache? All right? The first point of call, that's where they go. They don't go to the hospital, they go to the pharmacist. And the pharmacist will sit down with them and look at that child and take all the parameters and say, okay, give you something, and say, okay, let's look at how things are going to go. That driver who goes to the pharmacy and wants to get something for the headache, after checking the blood pressure and everything, they've come to look, your blood pressure is too high. It's not the headache that you have, it's the blood pressure that is causing the problem. Then there is a conversation along those lines. All right. Now, when you reduce pharmacists to dispensers or sellers of drugs, you are harming the system, you are hurting the system. They are way more than that. Now, if a pharmacist spends about half an hour to sit down with a patient to reconcile their medication, all right, so a patient is about 6-7 medication, they sit down with a pharmacist, the pharmacist performs what we call medication therapy management for them. They look, see as, okay, there's a duplication of medication there, these two drugs cannot be taken together, you don't have to take this at this time, you have to take this at this time of the day, kind of thing. Once they've spent about an hour reconciling all those things for the patient, and then the patient ends up buying medication for 100 cedis, the National Health Insurance only pays for the medication. They don't pay for the time that the pharmacist spent to get to that point in time. That's not acceptable. That is very wrong. We don't value what the pharmacist brings to the table. We are just treating them as sellers of medications. If that's what we want, let them know. So nobody goes to school to go and study for 6-7 years. Come to just be disrespected in the community. Until we begin to value what pharmacists bring to the table and begin to accept the fact that without that part of the national healthcare system being respected and placed in the right position, we are heading in the wrong direction. I'm afraid to say that. The free primary healthcare isn't going to succeed without the input of community farmers. It won't. We may think we are doing something now, but along the way it will collapse. I'm being very honest with you. It will collapse without the input of community pharmacists. So, national health insurance has got to start paying pharmacists for their heads, their brain. Don't abuse it. If I spend an hour to work with the patient to get to the point where they just only need 2 medications instead of the 6 medications they are using, and you don't pay me for that time, but you're only paying for the drugs, that's disrespectful. That's not right. That's not acceptable. That is wrong.
Is it a case of, if I may ask, is it a case of, okay, so let's say I ended up at the hospital. The doctor wrote something. Most of the time, what you guys even write, you don't see. But you write something.
Yeah.
I take it to a pharmacy shop. I present it to whoever is on duty that day. What I see here, maybe it's different elsewhere, but I can speak for my experiences here. You go, you meet an attendant, or if there's a pharmacist there, sometimes you see them in their apparel. So I'm assuming they are pharmacists. They look at the medication. Sometimes they ask a question or two. Sometimes nothing. They take the prescription. They look at it. Sometimes I see them looking at it. Whatever they are looking for, I don't know. They look at it. They move to the shelf. They pick the medication.
Class 91.3 FM.
Sometimes the doctor may have already told you the number of times you're going to take it, the time, and all of those things. If perchance the doctor didn't write it, and maybe you also do not remember, then you ask, okay, how often am I going to take this one? They write maybe 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 3 in the evening. Sometimes plus or minus 6-7 minutes, done. You walk out. So it's done. That's what we see in Ghana.
You know what? Let's face it. That's not pharmacy practice. That's not community pharmacy practice. That is below the belt. Now, in my practice, I'll give you a typical scenario. You come to my pharmacy, all right? You come to my practice, you bring a prescription. Now, I need to know to make sure that that prescription belongs to you. I need to confirm your date of birth to confirm who you are. All right, to make sure that because what if the physician give you the wrong prescription? That's a possibility. There are medical incidents. It happens. They could write the wrong prescription for you.
Those questions.
I need to make sure that I confirm your name, your date of birth, and make sure that the prescription is actually for you. Then we move to the next stage. I need to know the condition for which the doctor is prescribing that medication for you. All right? So what if I give you the wrong medication? There's a problem. I am responsible. I will get sued for giving the wrong medication. It's not the physician who wrote it. So I need to, number one, I need to confirm that prescription is actually written in your name, your date of birth is confirmed. I need to know the medical condition for which the physician is writing that medication for you. Because what if you have a headache and the medication is is a contraceptive? Am I going to dispense that because the doctor has written it? No, that's not the training you got as a pharmacist. So you need to make sure that what exactly is the physician writing the drug for? You need to know that. Once you know that, with your training, you have a fairly good idea about what the drugs are used for. Then you know that, okay, yes, this drug is used for that. So the physician may be right. Those things have to be done. Then I need to know if you have any allergies to the medication. Any medication. Because if you are allergic to amoxicillin and the doctor writes maybe cephalexin for you, chances of cross allergy hypersensitivity is there. So I need to know that and have that on my file. Because if I don't know that and I give you the medication, there is a problem down the line, I get sued for that because I dispense the medication, not the physician who wrote it. Are you getting the picture here?
I do.
So if you just get in the pharmacy, they pick the prescription, look at it, and go and take the medication and give it to you. That's not pharmacy practice, I'm afraid. I mean, we see that. We know that has happened. And so there's a lot of education going on within the pharmaceutical society, the community. That you can't be practicing pharmacy like that in the community. You are selling drugs if you do that. So you need to be on top of it and make sure that what the physician has written is that, okay, if the physician says that you take the drug 1 tablet 3 times a day, and you know that as a pharmacist, that drug cannot be taken more than once a day, there's a red flag that you've got to understand that. You need to know that. All right.
The patient doesn't know this.
That is why you have the pharmacist to do all the job for you.
What if I go then, it's only an attendant, but I see pharmacy written boldly there?
The truth of the matter is that it's a discussion that's going on strongly amongst ourselves as pharmacists in Ghana. we need the pharmacists to remain in the community pharmacy to do a job. Most of them are running away. They are leaving the job at the hands of the OT, the MCs, which is not acceptable. The the pharmacy council is doing a good job in that area, closing down pharmacies, finding pharmacists who are not there. So kudos to the Pharmacy Council of Ghana. They are doing a good job. And even the society itself is talking a lot about it. So we need to be in the community pharmacies in order to do the job that we're hired for.
As in, stay there.
Stay there. Where else are you going to be there? If you're a pharmacist, you are hired as a pharmacist, you have to work in a community pharmacy, you are supposed to be there. Why would you take somebody's money and not be there? And why would you say you're a community pharmacist and you're not in the pharmacy? No, that's not what it's supposed to be.
I see. Let's move on with this write-up. Beyond that, you write about the structural bottleneck, why integration is non-negotiable, and you write that the logic for formally integrating community pharmacies into Ghana's primary healthcare matrix rests on 3 pillars, and you mentioned them. 1, the accessibility advantage. 2, the epidemiological shift. And then 3, mitigating fragmented patient care. Can you break this down?
I'll tell you what. Number 1. So, like I said, in the community, you have the community pharmacy. The community pharmacist knows the people in the community. He knows them by name. He knows them where they live. And they go there every day. So if you need somebody to provide services to the people in that community, your best bet is the community pharmacist. Bottom line, straight away. Okay? Now, you don't have to walk past 2-3 pharmacies to go to a clinic for minor issues that could be resolved in the community pharmacy. Very important. Number 2, epidemiological shift. Now, years ago, it used to be infectious diseases. Most of the disease burdens were infectious diseases. Today, the trend is shifting from infectious disease to non-communicable diseases because of our lifestyle, everything. I mean, diabetes is becoming a big problem. Hypertension. I was looking at some data recently that about 48% of Ghanaians have hypertension. That's the data I saw. About 45 to 48% of Ghanaians have adults Ghanaians have hypertension. And if we are not preparing for this, the impact on the healthcare system is going to be massive. We can't always be looking at things as it stands today. We have to project into the future and make sure that we are covered down the line. If about 50%, about almost half of the population have hypertension, what exactly are we doing about it? So that's where the cheap compounds and the free primary healthcare is important, because the focus of primary healthcare is to early detection and prevention. All right. And this is where, like I said, it's one of the best policies we have. But we need to include a very important cadre of healthcare professionals in there so that the early detection, the prevention, and all those things are taken care of immediately. So we don't end up with a bigger problem. So number 1, the availability. I mean, that's one, the advantage community pharmacies have, all right? They are readily in there. They are part of the community. There's a epidemiological shift where we are moving away from infectious diseases into non-communicable diseases. Perfect there. What was the third point I made?
The third point had to do with mitigating fragmented patient care.
Exactly. So let me tell you something here. If you are based in Accra, for whatever reason you have to go to Kumasi for a funeral or whatever, you forgot to take your medication along. You go to a community pharmacy. You want a medication because you're going to be there for a week. You don't have your medication. Are you going to go without the medication? No, you don't have to. You go to the community. That community pharmacy should be able to know the blood pressure medication you are taking, even though he doesn't live with you in Accra. The system should be connected. All right? He should be able to log into the system with probably your healthcare number, your Ghana card, and everything, and be able to find out the medication you are taking. If you don't know, he'll be able to supply the medication for you for that 1 week you are in Kumasi. You don't have to go without your medication. So we can't be running a fragmented system of healthcare. The healthcare system has to be coordinated. I'll give you a typical example. I mean, I don't like talking about it, but in Alberta of Canada, all right? Now, every citizen in that country, or every resident of that, the pharmacist has access to your healthcare information. They can log onto the system and find out everything, the medication. So even if you don't know the medication you are taking, and you go there and tell them, I am on this medication and that kind of thing, once you fill a prescription from a pharmacy, it gets onto a Netcare system. Once you have a lab where it gets onto a Netcare system, once you do everything, it's there. So I have access to that information in order to provide you the best pharmaceutical services. We can't continue. So you go to Kumasi, you don't even know what you are taking. They may give you something different from what you are taking. And No, no. We need to have a coordinated system where everything is coordinated. I should have access to your healthcare information in any part of this country so that when I'm providing with those services, I know that the last time you did a lab work was 3 months ago and your A1C was this high. And when I'm providing with the medication for diabetes, I should know that this is the medication that will bring your A1C down. I should know the last time you did a thorough, complete medical checkup. I need to know all that. If I don't have all that information at my fingertips, how am I going to provide you with the best pharmaceutical services? How am I going to provide the best services ever? So we need all these things coordinated.
If we have to coordinate all of these things, then I see that would feed into the next thing that you wrote about, investing in specialized clinical education.
Perfect.
And you write, to unlock the full potential of the community pharmacies, Ghana must move beyond seeing pharmacists as drug dispensers. The state should invest in advanced postgraduate training to prepare community pharmacists as certified primary care educators. And you go ahead to talk about prioritizing certain areas. Let's look at the generality of this before we look at the areas you want us to prioritize. You say that we should move beyond you should see beyond pharmacists as drug dispensers, and you say the state should invest. What can you tell us about the level of investment by the states at the moment?
So let me tell you something. Here. Now, I made mention of the fact that national healthcare does not pay for the services we provide. They pay for the drugs we dispense. All right. So if a pharmacist wants to specialize in an area and it costs a lot of money to specialize in an area, I am a certified respiratory educator. I spent thousands of dollars to get my certification. All right. Now, if you are not paid for the services you provide, that means you have to spend your own money to get specialized. So what is that guy specializing for? The pay itself is not good. So you are going to take part of that money to go and specialize in an area which the country doesn't value. Are you getting the picture there? So if the government actually wants the pharmacists to be very useful to the community, they have to invest in their training. So let's say that the government decides they're going to spend about, like I said, 3 million cedis in the next 5 years with the Ghana College of Pharmacists for them to train several cadres. We'll touch on those places that I touched on. In the next 5 years, you have a pool of highly trained experts in different areas. I selected my areas very carefully, and we can go back to that. We'll look at it carefully.
We'll go into them.
Yes.
You talk about certified diabetes educators.
Yes.
CD. So you write that type 2 diabetes represents a major share of NCD cases in regional hospitals, often leading to preventable tertiary complications because of poor metabolic tracking. Community pharmacistry in points of care, HB
A1C and all that's okay. Yeah, hemoglobin A1C.
It goes on and on. You talk about asthma and COP educators. You talk about smoking cessation specialists, vaccination and reproductive health. So these are the 4 main.
Yeah,
ones.
those
So
are
can
the.
we take them one by one?
I'll tell you what something here. So, like I said, I started by saying that about 43 to 45% of all the deaths in Ghana account for the non-communicable diseases. So, NCD accounts about 45% of the deaths in this country. And on the NCD list, you are looking at cardiovascular problems, you're looking at hypertension, all right? You're looking at the respiratory issues, you're looking at the diabetes. Those are the ones I picked up there. So, if we are able to train experts, diabetic educators, I look at some of the prescriptions that come out for diabetic patients in Ghana, and then you look at it carefully, and you know, as a matter of fact, I'm sorry, I'm not missing words, they will end up on dialysis. Because you are not maximizing the treatment. All right? But if you have an expert in diabetic education, they know that this medication, combined with this, combined with your lifestyle, combined with your, everything, your weight and everything, that's when but we just prescribe the medication. It's not just the drugs you are prescribing, but even the drugs, there are different categories of drugs. There are categories of drugs which actually will protect your kidney. All right? So that is why you need an expert to be on top of all these things to make sure that that diabetic patient is provided with the maximum and the best treatment as possible. I'm not saying that the general pharmacist cannot do that. But if somebody is a specialist in an area, that is their field of specialization. They see it over and over and over and over. And when they're even sleeping and you call them, they will respond to that with expert ideas. So that's the diabetes. So if we cover that area, all right, down the line, we are saving millions of dollars down the line. Now, on that list, the NCD list, hypertension. So if you are looking at a pharmacist who is expert in that area, when you go to the pharmacy, they check your blood pressure, they check your body mass index, they check your weight, your height, they check your blood glucose, they check your A1C, they can check cholesterol level and all those things at that area. So if we have all this data about the patient, what else do you need? And if they have to do that every year, you have all the data on your citizens. You know what is going to happen down the line. If the cholesterol levels are high, there's a referrer to see a physician. You are taking away a lot of people from your hospitals who don't even have to be there. And look at it. Recently, we had the HIV numbers that about 14,000 HIV cases last year. All right. Now, if we treat our pharmacists as experts in that, all right, what happens is that people will go to them and seek ideas in confidence. They are not going to end up in the hospital because they probably have got a contraceptive. They go to the pharmacy in confidence and they discuss all their issues with them. Look, the trust that the citizens have for pharmacists in other parts of the world is amazing. And we need that culture, we need that here. There's so much trust in it. Look, the patient will not tell the physician that I am not taking my medication because I don't have money to buy. You've written 3 medications for a patient. They go to the community pharmacy. Now they know the cost of it. They are thinking about it. Do I buy one and save money to feed my children or what? Nobody gets that information than the pharmacist because we see them. That is where it is. So we have all this data. So if the government we really, really want to make an impact in the healthcare services, my brother, you can't do it with a community pharmacist. No two ways about that.
Sometimes some of these levels of
education. Let me finish. Look, yeah, we're talking about immunization. Okay. Across the globe, most countries, pharmacists give immunizations. They give injections. All right. I give injections. All right. I mean, when it comes to the seasonal flu shot, when it comes to the COVID, when it comes to pneumonia, when it comes to all those things, I give all those injections. Now we are transitioning from giving those kind of injections. We are into technicians, so that the pharmacists can spend more time doing quality work. But here in Ghana, it's a challenge for even pharmacists to give that kind of services. What are we talking about? In other parts of the world,
can't they do that?
Yeah, because the policies don't allow that. We have some policies which are outdated. We need to throw them away. Just expunge them, throw them away. They're not useful.
Has it come up?
It's being discussed.
In Ghana, when you hear something is being discussed,
I don't want to go there.
I was going to be very careful of that.
Yeah.
God knows how long for it to be discussed, because there will be a lot of.
But I mean, look, to be very honest with you, we are making headways with the discussion, and look, we're having discussions about it. It's going on. I mean, and I'm very hopeful that we get all those things. In my practice, you hardly see me doing dispensing, day-to-day dispensing, all right? Because I go in there. I'm a prescribing pharmacist, a consultant. Okay, so you can initiate treatment by seeing the patient. The patient can come to you with their medical conditions, and you initiate treatment for them. You request for lab work, the results comes to you within 24 hours, and you make decisions based on that. That's the kind of pharmacy practice I'm expecting to see down the line in Ghana.
Down the line, it means it's not happening.
It's not happening. I mean, pharmacists in Ghana can't prescribe, right? They will take care of minor issues, but we are talking about problems, major problems.
Okay. If you don't mind and you want to touch on the other pointers as well, I see we spoke about certified diabetic educators. We spoke about asthma and COPD educators.
Yeah.
And then smoking
cessation.
What's that?
So look, let me tell you something. We know that the use of shisha and smoking is gradually creeping up in the society now. The youth in our second cycle institute and university are beginning to smoke again. I thought it had gone down. The numbers are going up there. And we know the impact of smoking. Smoking will feed into hypertension. Smoking will feed into cardiovascular problems. All right? So what we need is that So if we train our community pharmacists as the smoking cessation experts, every patient that comes into the pharmacy, they're able to ask you a few questions. They need to know your smoking, the status, whether it's cigarette you are smoking or you are speaking marijuana or you are on shisha. They need to know all that. And once they get that information, there is a strategy that we use in order to help people quit. You start once you ask those basic questions, you know whether the person is in a position where they are considering quitting, they're in a position where they want to quit, they're in a position where they are in the process of quitting. That is what we do as pharmacists. So, with all that information available to you and with all that knowledge available to you, we can capture the data that the government needs to know what percentage of our people are smoking. We need that. All right. So the pharmacist at that point will be able to capture all that information for you. So if somebody is smoking and they're on high blood pressure medication, you can have a chat with them and let them know that this is not probably helping your situation that you are on. All right. And it probably, if you could quit, that would be the best decision you can make for yourself. You can have discussions along those lines. And we know that when you combine that pharmacotherapy, that the counseling by the pharmacist, your chances of getting somebody to quit just it's very, very high. You're looking at 80-90% of them to quit. You keep bugging them and talking about it and capturing the right time and the right information to give to them. So if we are able to stop people from smoking, we are helping people. We are solving the problem, cardiovascular problem. We are solving the problem on hypertension. All right. Smoking is becoming a problem. And then we also talked about COPD. Now, COPD is mainly caused by smoking in advanced countries. About 70% of it is smoking in the advanced country. But in the low middle income countries, we are seeing that it's being caused by the household biomass, where people are still using charcoal, they are using wood in order to cook, they are inhaling and all those things. So that is the problem we are having with COPD. So COPD is rising in high, and because we don't test for it, we think it's low. COPD is not low in Ghana. COPD is very high in Ghana. I was making, like in Nairobi, I was making a presentation on those things, and we said that Ghana has a 2.2% of asthma prevalence, and South Africa has about 40 something. If you don't test, you don't know. During COVID, a lot of countries were saying that they didn't have COVID because they didn't have. How do you know whether you have COVID or not if you are not testing? So those countries that have high numbers, it's not because they are stupid and they have high numbers, because they are testing. So if you don't test, you're not going to get the numbers. We know on the average it's about 20% globally. So if we are presenting ourselves that we have 2.2%, there's something basically wrong there.
It means we are not testing.
Okay, let's move on.
91.3 FM.
Okay, at least I got an answer to one of them. Beyond these four major things that you raise, then you go ahead to talk about the macroeconomic case. You talk about the 5-year cost projections. I see that you have there's a lot of data there, together with some tables and computations and all of that. We're going to try and
make sense out of it.
Yeah, and then I'll share on our various portals so that people can have a look at the data, all the data that you put in. I'm just going to put a few of them out. You talk about deterministic 5-year simulation evaluating. This integrating model suggests that investments in advanced pharmacy training is not a fiscal burden, but a cost containment strategy for the National Health Insurance Scheme. Then you see the model assumes a phased rollout of across 500 accredited community pharmacies over 5 years. Total projected infrastructure, curriculum development, and training costs amount to 3.1 million, and the figures go on and on and on. This is what you were making reference to earlier in the conversation. You've been able to put some data, some statistics together. So, for example, if I'm just imagining something wildly here. So I know one or two people who can say get you to meet Dr. Bampo, and then get to meet the Minister of Health, because these are unless there are more people I don't know, the two key people maybe there. Because Dr. Bampo runs the health insurance.
NHIS, yes. Nice guy.
Akando runs
the Ministry of Health.
The entire ministry. So you meet them. Bosses, Charlie, this be the data. Can we take it to the next level and the next level and the next level? If I may ask, has that come up?
Yes.
What was their response?
It's come up in discussions, and recently the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, Mahama Care, invested millions of cedis into the Ghana College of Pharmacists, so they can train people in the different areas and more in the hospital kind of thing, oncology and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's come up. We've had some good positive rates from the Mahama Care. They are doing that in oncology and stuff like that. So yes, discussions have gone on, but I am looking at this thing from a different angle. We know what the Mahama Care stands for, right? It's for those, chronic conditions which are not being catered for with the National Health Insurance, all right? So that has been taken care of, but I'm looking at the other angle, which is not into that yet, and we don't have to let it get into it.
Okay.
We want to make sure that we delay people or prevent people from getting on to Mahama Care. That's where I'm coming from. So because look, if you give,
say that again. I'm interested in what you
no,
okay.
Before somebody gets on Mahama Care, all right, there's a basis, there's a condition there.
Okay.
Now my angle is to prevent people from moving from that basic normal condition. You prevent them from getting on Mahama Care. If you give Mahama Care $2 billion, all right, that money will finish because the services they provided are so expensive. So my concern is that we want to make sure that people don't transition from being normal diabetic patients or normal asthma patients onto those services. Am I making sense?
I get it.
Yes, that's where I'm coming from. So if we spend money at the early stages, prevention, early detection, and managing the conditions properly and appropriately and professionally at the early stages, we are not going to get people transition onto Mahama Care.
That should make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Ideally. So, just like you mentioned, if you're going to spend 10 billion on Mahama Care, and so many people, for want of a better word, are graduating to the stage of Mahama Care, the 10 billion will not do anything.
No, it won't.
But if we spend 1 billion at the lower stage, and we have, sadly, let's say 2 people graduate from primary to Mahama Care, then we spend less money there. That should make a lot of sense.
Yes, it does. It does. So, what will happen is that, look, because it's a new policy, we have a large pool of people already in that category. All right. So the attention is being given to those who are under it on that category. I am coming from the clarion call. Let's not forget that people move from stage 1 to get to stage B. So let's make sure that we tackle the problems in stage 1. Let's tackle it. Yes.
So in line with that, you suggest some strategic recommendations for immediate emphasis on immediate action. And you write that to implement this transition successfully, the Ministry of Health and national stakeholders should prioritize 4 structural areas. 1. Standardize postgraduate specialty frameworks. 2. Reform NHIS clinical reimbursement structures. 3. Mandate interoperable digital health. And then 4. Deploy creative institutional funding matrices. If you don't mind, if you can take one after the other.
So number one, what did I even say? Number 1.
You say 1, standardize postgraduate specialty frameworks.
Yes. So what we need to do is that we need to sit down with the Ghana College of Pharmacists. All right. Now, this is where the problem is. So cardiovascular, diabetes, respiratory. So we need you to produce 100 respiratory educators annually for the next 5 years for us. Okay. So that's what we want to do. Then we decide, we look at the curriculum. Now, we are going to train 100 asthma educators for you for the next year. We are going to train 100 smoking cessation experts for every year for the next 5 years. The next 5 years, you are going to train diabetic educators. In the next, you are going. So that is the curriculum you're going to have, and that is the space you are going to. You invest money. You say, okay, in the next 5 years, that's what we are going to do, and we know that's going to happen because we know the impact along the line. Okay. Number 2, I don't even remember. You want to remind me?
Okay, let me go to number 2. 2 had to do with reforming NHIS clinical reimbursement structures.
Yes. I touched on that earlier on. I said, look, if I spend an hour to get to the point where a patient who is on 7 medications has to only remain on 2 of them, and I make sure that there are no adverse drug reactions, and I spend time with them and reconcile everything for them for an hour, and then they end up buying the 2 medication, and you only pay for the drugs that they are taking from me without paying for my services, the time that I spent in getting to that point. That is not fair. That is not right. That's not done anywhere. So national healthcare has got to start paying community pharmacists fees for the services they provide.
Maybe that is probably the reason why you're walking and they are not probably eager to ask too many questions.
Is the issue?
Is just get you the drugs? Go.
Is the egg and the chicken issue we have here? Which is which? I'm not going to defend any pharmacists for not being in a community pharmacy. No, there's no excuse for that. You opted to work in there regardless of the conditions, so you've got to be there.
Walking and come and take 1 hour or 2 hours of your time doing all those reconciliations, and people are walking into my pharmacy shop. Chances are that I'll spend 2 or 3 minutes with you and move on to the next patient.
That is true. I agree with you. Okay, so that's why I'm saying that the National Health Insurance has got to start paying pharmacists for the services they provide. I mean, look, we train a pool of pharmacists. I think we're on the third cohort now, medication therapy management experts. Now, these pharmacists are trained in such a way that when you come to the pharmacy, they sit down with you, and like everything I narrated to you, how I practice, getting to know that the medication is actually for you, what is being used for, your allergies, whether you smoke, whether you have exercise, whether your quality of life. I need to gather all that information before I dispense a medication. That's the kind of thing we have trained our pharmacists to do. They are experts in medication therapy management, and then they will sit down with you and look at all the drugs you are taking and say, okay, this and this drug are the same, or they work in the same way. You can't combine them. This and this drug, there's an interaction. You can't take them together. One has to be taken in the morning, one has to be taken at bedtime. This and those drugs, you can't combine them because the side effects. That is what we do in medication therapy. So if I spend an hour doing all these things for a patient, and then you only pay me for the medication that I dispense, is that fair? Is that right? Is that appropriate? Is that professional? Are you saying that my brain has no value? No. So the system has to begin to pay us for the services we provide in the community.
That makes a lot of sense. How about, okay, so beyond you dispensing the drugs for me, when you provide all of those services, then you add it to the bill or something like that.
You see that. So look, the system we are operating. Okay, I want to compare two things here. So the system we are operating is like, look, you go to a pharmacy, they have the medication, and they have a markup on the drug. So there's a markup which you pay. All right. Look, cost of healthcare is expensive, and so national health insurance is paying for the drugs. Already, they are spending money. All right. So if you spend that extra money to pay the person who is doing all the dirty job to get to the point where, so if somebody's on 6 medications, I'm able to take out 4 of them because they are not necessary, because I've done all the job. Now, you're only going to pay for 2 medications. All right. So the 4 medications that I have taken out, you are just going to benefit from it, and you are not going to pay me for that. No, it doesn't work like that. No. No, it doesn't work like that. I am preventing the patient from ending up at the emergency. I'm preventing the patient from taking so much money from you for the treatment that they will get when they get to the hospital, and you don't want to pay me for that? No.
That's not fair.
Oh, that's not fair. There are some terms I want to use, but I won't use them because you have our listeners.
Well, we're having a great conversation with Professor Uto in the studio and having all of these conversations about our health space. I just want to take a little breather. Time runs so fast sometimes. We've been doing this for almost an hour already. But we'll come back and do, some closing remarks here and there. But let me just go for a quick break. We'll be right back. This is Class 91.3 FM.
Your radio is just about to sound different.
Your 2 to 5 p.m. on radio will be exciting. Yeah! It's buffet season. You're having bits and pieces of everything.
We talk good and we play too good.
My name is Mr. Lion.
And my name is Irene Sewa Kwafo. They say variety is spice.
We say variety is class. The Class Drive. The Class Drive. Weekdays 2 to 5 p.m. on Class 91.3 FM. Class Sports Team.
Come in.
One says, the Prof is saying a lot of vital issues. They can bring the Ministry of Health and the government to introduce the care to the populace. Okay. This one says, Kwame, most often when we go to the pharmacy, we see mostly very young ladies. Are they properly trained? Do they have the requisite qualifications? How do I know if they are giving me the wrong medication, caffeine or crack? Okay. Maybe if you can read and write, then maybe you know. But if you can't read and write, I don't know how you're going to figure that out.
Yeah, but it's not just. I mean, so giving the right medication or wrong medication is another issue. As to whether, look, it's also possible that the physician wrote the wrong medication. The physician could write the wrong. It's normal.
How?
We are human. We make mistakes. We are human. We make mistakes.
At that level.
Yes, we do.
We trust you not to make mistakes.
No. That's why we have professional liability insurance. We can make mistakes. That's why we have insurance, because we can make mistakes. Physicians make mistakes. Pharmacists make mistakes. Head of states make mistakes. What are you talking about?
This one I told you, I met you and I.
Yeah. So that is why the community pharmacist doing a good job should be able to also, as a counter check on what the prescriber has done. So if, let's say, the prescriber writes a medication for you, okay, so let's say, I mean, they write your name there, Victor Uto, and the medication, your name, everything, and the medication is a contraceptive. What am I using a contraceptive for? So even though the physician wrote it, the pharmacist has to know that you don't need a contraceptive. You don't need the oral contraceptive. So that is why the pharmacist is the gatekeeper to make sure that before the medication comes to you, the physician would have written it. They've taken their time to make sure that everything is right. But when it gets to the pharmacist, it's a second eye to make sure that it's actually right before it's given to you.
Okay, fair point. Now, Nakojo from Spintex says, can Doc please explain to us why a lot of young people are acquiring these so-called communicable diseases? Is it about what they are eating, or is it about lifestyle? And I heard him say lifestyle. What exactly does he mean by lifestyle?
Okay, so we talk about that, I mean, briefly. Okay, so look, when I say there are a few things that come into play. Now, most young men today, all right, I mean, exercise is not an issue. They are drinking alcohol like they are. Without alcohol, they cannot live their lives. I mean, instead of eating your normal food, all they are thinking about is all those fried and food that the Western lifestyle. I mean, no exercise kind of thing, and most of them are drinking most of those bitters and whatever, which are concoctions that will destroy your organs and whatever. I mean, all those things will add up to it. A typical young Ghanaian, all right, young people, they are drinking alcohol like they are animals. The unprotected sex is there. And then they are using all those bitters and whatever. All they think about, instead of eating your ampesi and whatever and contomere, they are thinking about pizza, they are thinking about shawarma, they are thinking about all those stupid things. You end up on NCD. So that is what I'm talking about.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this one is coming from Margaret. Margaret, you say you sent a message from Ashaman. Please ask Doc. I heard him mention alcohol and smoking. I don't drink much. I drink once in a long while. I have never smoked. Is there still a possibility that I could get these diseases that he mentioned?
It's the Margaret, right? Yeah, Margaret, you know what? Look, quite apart from that, there's genetics involved in some of those things. It's like, let me give you a typical example. If your mother is hypertensive, there's about 35% chance of being hypertensive because there is a gene there. If both parents are about 50%. But then, if all those things being equal, if you are eating healthy, you exercise, you take your health seriously, you reduce alcohol, all those things if you do all those things right, chances that you only have 50% chance of getting it, you could go without it. But if all those genetic predispositions are there, and you are also doing all the other things that will add value to it, value in the negative sense, you end up with hypertension. You end up with all those medical conditions.
Okay. Michael from Teshi says, good morning to you, Prof. We hear a lot of conversations about healthy diets and a decent way of life. The kind of foods we eat in Ghana, some say, contribute to some of these sicknesses that you mentioned. Is that true?
Yes, that is true. I mean, look, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. So, you are eating food that has been you go buy food, they give you salad, and the salad that you are taking, you know the kind of water you use to water those things. Have you seen some work on it? They use what some of the places they use water from the gutters to water your cabbages, and you're going to use that to prepare salad. How sure are you that and you have all this food that you use a lot of pesticides and stuff like that to grow them, and there's a lot that is happening with our diet, and then you are eating food. I mean, look, I know, yeah, it adds flavor to it, or you have this monosodium glutamate, you dump them in the food to give it taste. Look, and then you have all these people drinking bitters and for erection, and then you're damaging your kidneys, you're damaging your livers because you want to have sex for 20 minutes, that kind of thing on an hour. No, this is true. Some of those things are affecting that. That's absolutely true.
Okay. This one says, "Good morning, Prof. Thank you very much for the education this morning. I have a personal experience with the bits that you shared about being given a wrong medication. But for the fact that I could read and write, when the doctor wrote the prescription for what I spoke to him about, I have little education about some of these things. So I wondered why he gave me or he wrote that medication, but I did not ask at the hospital. When I went to the pharmacy shop, it's a bit lengthy, I'm just trying to summarize it. When I went to the pharmacy shop and I presented it to, luckily I met the pharmacist of the shop, not an attendant. And then I noticed that he stared at me for a few seconds. So I just curiously asked why. Then the pharmacist started asking a few questions. Then he says, long and short, it was clearly a mistake. The doctor was somebody I know. So the pharmacy, out of respect, asked that we speak to the doctor right there and then, because he could not figure out why the doctor wrote that. When we placed the call to the doctor, he apologized. And the long as you said he apologized, and that particular drug was not procured. So what Prof is saying is true. It can happen. Okay.
It does happen. It does happen, and kudos to that pharmacist who did a good job, and kudos to the physician who accepted that they made a mistake. You hardly find that. I mean, some of them. So I'm happy for the people involved, the physician for accepting he was wrong, the pharmacist for catching it, and the patient for. So see, in healthcare, and it's always advisable to avoid providing healthcare to very close people, because we normally make mistakes with the people that we know very well. That's why we make mistakes.
Chief Kofi from Manette Estate says, wow. This doctor knows his profession. He's the caliber of physician we need in this country. We are just a country of I don't care. A wrong medication was prescribed for me, but for the vigilance of the pharmacist, I would have been taking wrong meds. I personally do cross-checking before taking any medicine. Okay, that's a good one.
I just want to clarify something. I'm not a physician. I'm not a medical doctor. I am a pharmacist, and I hold a PhD in biotechnology, and I hold a doctorate in public health. And that is it. I'm not a physician. I'm a pharmacist, and like I said, I hold a doctorate in public health and a PhD in biotechnology, MSc in applied microbiology, and MBA, and I'm working on my third MSc. Okay.
Anyway, let me take a few more messages that have come in line with the conversations that we are having. This one says, "Good morning, Prof. Thank you very much for your education. I am Kojo from Achimota. You see, why do we have a lot of young folks smoking the things the doctor mentioned, shisha and the others? There's a sports or a pub not too far from my house, and every time I drive by, I see all of these young people inhaling all kinds of things. Recently, I have seen them inhaling something that appears to be in a balloon of a sort. I don't know what it is, but is it that the kids of today do not even know the basics of these things? What are they being taught in school? Do they not know the repercussions of these things? And I'm sure that will take me to the public health side of the conversation.
Yes.
Because from primary level, you are told, oh, don't eat this. If you smoke, cigarette smoking is harmful to your health and all of these things. So I guess the concern of Kojo is it that people just don't care?
Kojo, I mean, the truth of the matter is that I know physicians, I know pharmacists who smoke, but they will advise their patients not to do that. Okay. Yeah.
That's a weird one.
It is. And I come from the point of like, I'm a harm reduction it's area that interests me a lot, and we know that. So I think that at that point in time, there's a lot of the need for us to do a lot of education, a lot of health promotion, a lot of work has to go into that, because, and we have to take the bull by the horn. Some of those kids who are doing some of those things, that we will have to tackle the problem, take the message to them. One size of message does not fit all the community, so we have to target messages for those early ages. All right. If those guys, because most of them are on social media, take the message to them on social media. If they're on TikTok, take the message to them on social media. Make sure that you craft the message well for them to spend time to listen to it and get to know. We need to do a lot of health promotion in this country. And the fact of the matter that like smoking is becoming another problem, which I thought we had gone past that, but it's gradually creeping in. And the earlier we spend time, resources, manpower, and everything to curb it, the better for us, because the consequences of smoking and all those things down the line are not good for the country.
Okay. Teddy in Lashibi says, good morning, Prof, and thank you very much for your time. Please help me with some education on herbs. I've had conversations with friends and some close family people who have spoken positively about using a few herbal medications to help with blood pressure. Is it proper? Can Prof please advise?
I unfortunately I will, because herbs are not regularized in this country. You can use herbs in. I mean, is it talking about, when you say herbs, are they talking of herbal preparation of marijuana as a herb?
He doesn't specify, but I would want to believe it's herbal preparation.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay. Yeah. Because if it was on herb as a cannabis or whatever, I'll probably ask him to call me and we can chat about it, because I practice in the country where it's legal, but in Ghana it's not legal. But if it's herbal preparations you are talking about here, that is it. So this conversation is coming up all over the place and stuff like that. Look, I am a practicing pharmacist, and I believe that herbs have a special role to play in our treatment. However, my concern with most of the herbal products that we use in Ghana is that, number one, they are not standardized. What do I mean by they are not standardized? If I take 5 pieces of a root and put them in this bottle, and I dump alcohol in it, the alcohol is going to extract active ingredients from that. It will not be only extracting that one active ingredient, it may be extracting 20, 30, 40 of them. Now, out of the 30, 40 of them, only one of them may be helping with your medical condition. The question that arises is, what are the other 20 doing? And don't forget that every drug has side effects. So one of them may be helping your blood pressure, but 20 of them may be killing your liver or your kidney. They may be damaging your brain cells. And if Mr. A puts 5 in there, he puts 10 mils of alcohol there. Mr. B puts 5 in there, puts 20 mils of alcohol. The amount of the active ingredient in these preparations are not the same. That is my challenge with the herbal products that we buy on the streets, we buy by the roadside and whatever. If, however, you are buying a herbal preparation from Mampong, where they have studied the drug, isolated the active ingredient, if done a thorough job on it, I am all for it. So herbal preparation, yes, they have a role to play, and I believe that healthcare is, as a standard, is a national security issue, and I believe that Ghana as a country should invest a lot in herbal products. China and South Africa have done that. They are selling a lot of their products. They are making a lot of money. We have a wide diversity of plants which have can help in a lot of medical conditions. We need to invest in that so that we can actually use them for a medical condition and sell them. And I expect like the National Health Insurance should be able to pay for this herbal product preparations instead of just a prescription and orthodox medication.
Okay, let me take a few more. They are coming in loads, but let me take a few more messages this morning. This one is coming from Joshua in Botiano. He says, "Hello, good morning, Prof. Thank you very much for the education that you've provided this morning. I'm really impressed, particularly the ones to do with." Okay, let me try and understand this. The ones to do with the medications that we are taking for all of these non-communicable diseases. You say you have friends who are taking 3, 4, 5 medications for whatever reason, and every now and then they have to do adjustments. You say education like this every now on your platform would help as many people. You say people are keeping a lot of things to themselves and wouldn't want to discuss it for trust issues and all of that. So thank you. If you can be bringing Prof a bit more into the studio when he has some time, it would do all of us a world of good. Okay, thank you very much for your message. This one is coming from Ni, and you say you are sending a message from Nungwa. You say, "Good morning, Prof, and thank you very much for the education this morning. I was impressed about his lecture on government's efforts to help improve the services at the community level. A lot of us normally would rush to the nearest pharmacy or chemical license seller when we have a challenge before we possibly proceed to the hospital. So if those places are also fairly equipped with a certain level of support, I think it would decongest a lot of our hospitals here in Accra and beyond." Say thank you to Prof for the education for us this morning. Let me take a last one, and then I'll take Prof's last word, and then we would wrap up. This one says, "Good morning. My name is Nuna, and I'm sending." You say Nuna in North Kanishi. You say, "Good morning, Prof." Okay, Prof, can you please help us when you talk about living? Okay, I think it's pretty much to do with the lifestyle changes that Prof mentioned about food. If I understand the context of your message, can Prof elaborate when he talks about healthy habits that could take us very far from some of these non-communicable diseases? What is good enough to be consumed then? Because he just made mention of something about the kind of food that we eat here.
Yes, I mean, look, there are a few things that you can do right. And look, eating habits is very crucial. And then, I mean, what I mean is that, look, I mean, taking too much salt and putting a lot of this monosodium glutamate in your food and a lot of fried stuff with oily and all those things don't help. So if you can cut them out, I'm not saying you stop them. I mean, it's not possible. I say this and I still enjoy them myself, but you have to be careful how often. If every day of the week you are either going to be eating fried food, you are going to be eating food that contains a lot of monosodium glutamate, there is no exercise there, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you are drinking alcohol and you are, I mean, those are not healthy lifestyles. All right, so we are looking at cutting down as much as possible, reducing your alcohol intake as much as possible, avoiding medications that you don't really need. And then if you have a medical condition, I would say that probably if every year you can have your annual medical checkup to make sure that everything is appropriate, everything is right, so that if there's a problem, the earlier you catch some of those conditions, the better for you. So those are some of the things I'm looking at that in general, if you look at it carefully, we should probably go down the line safely and have a good quality of life.
Prof, any final words you want to share with us?
All I have to say is that, look, your health is the greatest asset that you have, and then and you have control over it. Majority have control over it. Let's take good care of ourselves, and then let the government should also understand that we cannot achieve the universal health care that we are hoping and planning without the input of community pharmacists. They are an integral part of it, and if you ask me, they are the most crucial part of the factors that should be taken into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Wuto, for visiting us again this morning. And for you who did the listening and sending your messages, we appreciate you for doing the listening every single day. Thanks to the entire team for production. Iraja will be here with the news in a jiff. Good morning.